Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter, with a fun technique that you can do with any sort of solid stamp. I've got a botanical stamp here, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a little resisting, and this is a really fun technique. I'm actually going to do 3 techniques with this stamp on 3 separate videos. I know some of you have bandwidth issues where you can only watch a short video, or maybe you want to go back and watch something again, but the video is too big, so this will just help save you a little time and a little bit of your internet gigabyte data, whatever you call it, if you're on one of those dial-up plans. So basically what I've done here is inked up the stamp with clear embossing ink. Then I'm going to take a piece of paper that I just ripped out of an old book. It's just some text weight paper, and I can either make it go the direction of the text, or I can make the text go up and down. And I'm going to try this one up and down because on my other sample I had the text going horizontally, and I just think this might look different and interesting. All right, now I'm going to lift this up, and I'm not sure if this will show on camera, but maybe you can see the shiny parts where it's all, where the ink is. Now I'm just going to put some clear embossing powder on that. And I just keep my clear embossing powder in a Tupperware dish because I use it so much that it's really handy not to have to, use a scrap of cardstock to collect my scatter. I can just put it right in there. All right, and tap off the extra. And careful, I don't want to tap it too hard because I don't want to lose all the good stuff. Now I'm going to go over and heat set this because that's kind of boring to watch, and I'll be right back with the finishing part of this project. So hang on a minute. Okay, I've heat set this, and you can see it's nice and shiny. Now I want to offer a tip here. When you do heat emboss any embossing powder, you want to heat it just until it turns shiny and then move on. If you overheat it, you'll end up sinking the embossing powder into the paper. I think I heated it a little bit too much there. You can kind of see on the reverse side maybe how I could see it's kind of like stained there in the paper. That's where I heated it a little too much. So you want to heat it just enough so it's nice and raised and glossy, like I've got it for most of the design. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is do a little color, and I want to have some sunrise colors. So I'm using my faux latos. It's actually the gel sticks made by the same company that makes gelatos, but they're a lot cheaper. So I'm using my faux latos. I like saying faux latos. I feel so clever. I made that up. Maybe other people have made it up too, but I think I'm the first person to say it. I do have some real gelatos. I think they work about the same, but the other, the real gelatos may or may not be more light fast or acid free or what have you, but this is going to be going in a card, mailed off, and I'm sure probably pitched in a rubbish can a couple weeks after it's received. If it makes it a couple weeks, I'll be pleased. Alright, so you can see no big skill there. I colored it. And now I'm going to use a damp sponge, and I'm making it damp, actually, or I could just spritz the paper lightly, that'll work too. And I am just going to blend my colors here, blend them right together. And you're probably thinking, Lindsay, I cannot see what you stamped. What's going on here? It's kind of crazy. Don't worry, have no fear. You will see the design momentarily. And then I just go back down to kind of cross-pollinate and blend those colors a little bit. So it's just a subtle blend. Now, I can go over with a clean cloth, like my stamp cleaning rag, and a clean dry spot, and I can wipe off the color from the stamp design. See how that resists and stands out? Now, the bolder your image, the bolder the resist. It's not a great technique for really detailed line art. If I spray my rag with a little water, I can pick up a little bit more of that color. But it looks great for really bold images and botanicals. It just has a really nice organic look to it. Now I'll trim that down a little before I put it on a card, but something else I want to show you, which is really kind of fun. Let's say I trimmed it down and this is the size I wanted it to be. Go around the edges, and you do not have to be careful. That gelato that's underneath, or gel sticks rather, faux latos, will actually makes the paper a little bit slick. So it's really easy to blend this, so you don't need to go in a blending tool. You can just go in with your ink pad. That's a distressing pad, but any dye ink will work. And then you can just kind of soften it with your clean rag. I find that old t-shirts are fabulous to cut up and have around the studio. They're better than paper towels. You can throw them in the wash when you're done, or if they get too oogy, you can just toss them. But certainly a little bit nicer than a paper towel, and it works better, and it doesn't leave schmutz all over your stamps after you clean them, which is a really good bonus. So there you have it. That's pretty much it. That's how you do a resist on some text paper. You could do this on scrapbook paper that you don't care for. Like if you had some very, I don't want to say lame scrapbook paper, but that's what I mean, lame scrapbook paper. You can do this technique and you can give it a brand new life. Or old books that the librarian's throwing out. It's just a really fun way to reuse, recycle, and get a little more use from your stamps. Stick around to my channel. I'm going to have some more techniques coming up using the same stamp. So until that time, happy crafting!